Hello everyone. Today we're going to complete our last part of our lesson, that is Bottlenose Dolphins. Today we're going to be talking about the language skills as well as answering or doing the exercises in the practice book. So let's start. Now the language skills in this unit is about varying sentence patterns for meanings, which means that we will talk about three types of sentences according to meaning and according to structure. The first type, as you can see, it is compound sentence, complex sentence, and a simple sentence. Now, a compound sentence can present two related and equally important ideas. The two of them are independent, the two of them are important. The complex sentence, it can provide in-depth information, which means that it provides us with more details. A topic can provide in one clause is explained in the later clause, which means that the other clause explains or gives more details about the first sentence. In short, a short, simple sentence which is mainly explaining only one single important point. Now, an independent and dependent clause, you have to differentiate between them because they are different, and you have to differentiate between them in this way. Independent clause, which means the complete thought or complete idea, it has a subject and a verb. The dependent clause, it does not express a complete thought, it's not a complete idea, and it also has a subject and a verb. Now, to talk about it in details, well, let's look at this table, and you can see it in your book as well. Now, the sentence type, this is the way to differentiate between those three types. There is a fourth type, but we're going to talk about only these three now. The first type is a simple sentence, as we said before. It is mainly about one independent clause. It expresses one complete idea or thought that it can stand alone by itself. Now the example here the experiment took place in Scotland. Now all of the examples over here in this table are taken from the book, specifically from Bottlenose Dolphins text. Now the compound sentence, it is about, or it contains two or more independent clauses joined by a comma and a coordinating conjunctions. Now you know them before, fanboys conjunctions, which are and, but, so, yet, or, and so on. It expresses two related thoughts that are equally important. The last part, that is complex sentence, it is one independent clause that states the most important idea with one or more dependent clauses that gives details. Let's look at the examples. Signature whistles were discovered in the 1960s, but we still don't understand their purpose. As you can see, the conjunction over here is but, and it links between the first sentence, which is signature whistles were discovered in the 1960s, as well as the second clause, which is we still don't understand their purpose. Both of them are independent clauses. Both of them express two complete thoughts. If you look at the last example, that is about complex sentence, you can see that the conjunction over here is after. After dolphins were recorded in the wild, researchers discovered new ways individuals use their signature whistles. Now, the first clause, which is linked with after dolphins were recorded in the wild, this is a dependent clause, which means that this is not a complete idea, though it has a subject and a verb. Now the second sentence, or the second clause, that contains the main idea, which is researchers discovered new ways individuals use their signature whistles. To view more about this lesson, we're going to see another presentation that talks in details about them. Let's check it out. Now, The parts of sentence, as we said, this is just like well, a revision before we begin with our exercises. It talks about a subject and a predicate, which means the verb. A subject is the person or thing the sentence is talking about. It may be a simple or a complete subject. Now, predicate is the action or state of being the subject. Now, for example, Mr. Harry, our school principal, told us to study well for our final exams. As you can see, Mr. Harry is the simple subject and the simple predicate is told, which is the verb. Now, let's check out this example. Mr. Harry, our school principal, told us to study well for the exams. Now, because they are simple, they are also complete subjects. Let's try to solve this exercise. I remember to bring the robot, forgot to bring the batteries. Now, these are some of the conjunctions. You can use them all except for or. Now, if you put like so, I remembered to bring the robot, so I forgot to bring the batteries. It does not work as well. But you can use and forgot to bring the batteries, and you can use but. You can never use so or in this example. For example, now, the last part in this presentation is talking about simple and compound and complex sentences. This is just like a revision. A simple sentence is it contains one independent clause and no dependent clauses, which expresses only one idea. Now, the compound sentence, on the other hand, it is composed of at least two, they can be more than two, independent clauses. They are joined by a coordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunction, or a semicolon. All that you need to remember is the fanboys. The last part, which is a complex sentence, it is about one independent clause and one dependent clause, which is the subordinating clause. Now let's move on to the last part, which is doing the exercises in our practice book. I need you all to open your practice book, page 187. Now the first exercise is about, you have A and B, two parts. You have to join between those two sentences, two clauses, in one compound sentence. Remember, compound sentence, which means that you have to use conjunctions that are from the fanboys family, and, or, but, and so on. Now the first one, signature whistles convey identity. They can also reveal a dolphin's mood. Now, if you look at them, both of them conveys or complete each other. That's why we have to use and both of them are positive ideas. They complete each other. None of them is the opposite of the other one. Now the second one, scientists know dolphins have signature whistles. They don't know exactly how these whistles are used. Now both of them complete each other, but we have not over here. That's why we have to use but, because it won't work if we use and, because it's not about the same idea. So now this is the practice number 1, or exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is to join between those two sentences into one complex sentence. You have to put the most important idea in the independent clause, which means that the most important idea should stand alone because it is one complete idea, one important thought, complete thought. Now let's read them. Remember, the complex sentence or the conjunctions that are used in complex sentences are way too many, so you have to use any of them if they work, of course. Janik and Wells notice a pattern in dolphins' whistles. This pattern could be used to tell dolphins apart. Now, if you notice over here, Janik and Wills notice a pattern in dolphins' whistles. This is the independent clause, the most important idea, and we have used this conjunction, which is that, could be used to tell dolphins apart. That refers to the pattern. Now, we have to use that. You can use any other conjunction if it works. It's totally fine. We are still on the same page. Now, the sentences in the paragraph below are all simple sentences. You have to revise the paragraph again, so it has at least one complex sentence or compound sentence. Let's read the paragraph together. Now, Janik is planning a new series of experiments. He needs more evidence about how dolphins use signature whistles. He plans to play recorded whistles to wild dolphins. He plans to study how wild dolphins respond to recorded whistles. He hopes to solve the mystery of why dolphins use signature whistles. If you remember, or if you notice, we have a series of ideas. Some of the ideas complete each other. That's why we can do them as a compound sentence or a complex one. Now, the possible answer that you can do it, well, you have to say, he's planning a series of experiments. He needs more evidence about how dolphins. Why does he plan a new series of experiments? Well, because he needs more evidence about how dolphins use signature whistles. So the first conjunction that we can use is because, and we have built a complex sentence over here. Now, he plans to play recorded whistles to wild dolphins. He plans to study, and so on. Two plans together, we can join between them using and. And the last sentence stays as it is. Now, the fourth one, how did using different sentences types improve the paragraph you revised? Well, you have to do it on your own. You have to tell me, and this is a homework, students. You have to tell me how those using different sentences types improve the paragraph which you revised, which means that what difference does it make when we added the conjunctions and used the two or joined the two sentences together. It's your job to tell me how to do it. Now our lesson is over for now. We are done with bottlenose dolphins. I expect you all to do the last exercise, which is exercise number 4, and I also expect you, before you view the other video, I expect you to read the poems, which are Cynthia in the Snow, and the other poems that follow. Please read them, prepare them in order to view the next video. Good luck. Bye.